Phoenix Arms HP22. Good evening and welcome to Arcanus Libero. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Phoenix Arms HP22 semi-automatic pistol. The HP22 is a great little budget gun, and I'm going to recommend it to you tonight. If you're looking for a budget firearm, this is a very good budget firearm. Retail price is under $150, and it's regularly advertised at $139. The handgun is a zinc alloy with a steel barrel aligner inserted into it. It's very similar to what you're seeing with most of the firearms market, with the aluminum alloys and zinc alloys with inserted hardened barrels. For that you get a fine quality firearm for a reduced price. Now there are some negatives to this firearm. Those include the fact that it's heavy. It is much heavier than you would think, but that is offset by its size. It is a very small handgun, and its size makes it very concealable. Another advantage of it is it's capable of holding 10 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the pipe. An 11 round capacity is pretty significant for something this small. Now, the Phoenix Arm is not the most accurate pistol in the world. Standing unsupported at 7 meters, I was able to shoot 3-inch groups regularly. At 25 meters, I was able to keep them in an 8-inch circle. This makes it more than adequate for close range, personal protection. I mean, this is a great little gut gun. If somebody was assaulting you, this would be a good little firearm to protect yourself with. One of the drawbacks that some people point to are the safeties. There are numerous safeties on this firearm. The hammer safety, which is right here, is very difficult to operate. It takes an inordinate amount of pressure to turn this safety off. If I was to carry this weapon, I would not actuate this safety. I would not use this safety at all. I would stick with this safety here with a simple trigger lock, and you can click this back one click and it has a half cock position, which takes the hammer off of the firing pin. This is how I would prefer to carry it if I was carrying it. You could easily operate it with this on or off, but I would leave it on. It's not difficult to push it down. Cock the hammer. If you have one in the pipe, you're off and shooting. Now, if you were being attacked at close quarters, the nice thing about it, the weight of the gun does give you an advantage in that situation. Once you've drawn it and begun to fire, because of its weight, there is almost no recoil felt. It's very, very controllable. In fact, it's so controllable that I've been using it to train my offhand for shooting. Now, offhand shooting is very difficult for me, and it's easy for me to lose control of a handgun, and I'll show you why. My hand has been severely damaged, and I am missing the forward knuckle in every finger. I have no fine manipulation like the average person, and yet I'm able to shoot this firearm pretty effectively offhanded. Now, I've heard some complaints about this gun being a Saturday night special, and that it breaks, and that it and that it's not well made. This one has over 1,000 rounds through it. There is no significant wear on it. You can see slightly, you can see some shining where the slide rubs against the barrel channel. There's very, very small amount of wear where I'm pulling the trigger after 1,000 rounds, but there's no significant wear on the firearm. I don't think it would wear out as long as you stick to the manufacturer's recommended tolerances. The manufacturer recommends that you stay with standard velocity 22 caliber ammunition. My experience is that makes this handgun very reliable. Now I have to caveat that reliability statement because it is reliable with round nose ammunition. I've fired copper jacketed and lead round nose ammunition through this with near 100% reliability. Hollow points on the other hand constantly jam and misfeed. One of the things I've noticed is that when using especially the Thunderbolts, that the slide won't fully seat. For whatever reason, the Thunderbolts want to bend as they are guided up the ramp, and it won't fully seat. And when you pull the trigger, the hammer will strike and actually seat the receiver, close it, but the round won't go off. It won't strike hard enough to do it. In those cases, I had to cock again, pull the trigger, and the round would go off the second time the hammer dropped on it. But the problem with that is that in a 10-round magazine, you would have 80 or 90% of the rounds misfeeding. Every single round would misfeed. You'd be very lucky if you'd get 1 or 2 rounds to cycle through completely. And so I would advise you to stay away from the hollow point 22 ammunition with this. And I would also stay away from the high velocity ammunition like the CCI mini mags and so forth. The manufacturer says to do that. And I've stayed strictly with the round point Federal bulk ammo, and I've used some match grade, and the match grade feeds wonderfully through this, and I haven't had a single jam with match grade ammunition. So that's what I would stick to if I was going to use this for a self-defense weapon. When I first picked this up, one of the downsides I found with it is that when I disassembled it, I damaged the slide spring. It became misshapen. It still functioned, and I had no malfunctions as a result of it, but I find that the metal in the spring does not have a long memory, and therefore it can be tweaked or bent quite easily, and it doesn't return to its original shape well. Thankfully, the Phoenix Arms website has a very nice store, and you can buy 5 of those springs for $5, I believe. And also available are magazines. You can buy the magazines for about $10 to $12 a magazine. They have this style, and they have one with an extended grip on it that allows a little more finger purchase. But I've never, there's so little recoil with this that I see absolutely no reason to get more finger purchase. So I stay away from them. I don't need them, and they make the gun larger, which is something that I'm not looking for. Finally, the gun is also available. This is a 3-inch barrel. It's also available in a 5-inch barrel. Because of the way the barrels are made, and both barrels have a very, very light rifling in them, I've found no appreciable benefit to having the 5-inch barrel. There may be some. Again, I'm not a pistol guy. It's not my area of expertise. I'm not the greatest pistol shot. Rifles are more my forte. but I saw no appreciable benefit from the 5-inch barrel, and I think that's largely because of the limited amount of rifling and how lightly the barrel is scarred with the rifling. If there was one thing I could change about this firearm, or maybe ask the manufacturer to do, is maybe redesign a barrel. They sell these barrels for like $20 on their website, and since it's an insert barrel, it probably wouldn't be that hard for them to create another class of barrel, and maybe, you know, it might be a $50 barrel, but one with better rifling in it, and I think you would see a marked improvement in the performance of this handgun. All in all, though, I would recommend this gun if you're on a budget. I would not shy away. If you're new to firearms, this is a good little firearm. Stay away from the hypervelocity ammunitions. Stay with the standard velocity stuff. Stay away from hollow points or specialty ammunition. Just stick with the round points, and this is an effective little firearm. It will work for you, and it will get the job done. Thank you. Have a good evening. Remember to support the NRA. Remember, the Second Amendment will only be protected if we stand up and demand that it is. Thank you. Have a great evening.
That Jedi is here somewhere. This sector's clean.